that our unemployment was better than it was in France or Germany or other European countries. What do you say?
I mean, it's just getting to the stage now where there's no connection between what he's saying and what the rest of us are experiencing. You know, when he first became PM, Private Eye had that, they'd had John Major as the Diary of John Major, and then they had Tony Blair as the Trendy Vicar. And they had Gordon Brown as this kind of Stakhanovite comrade sending
out... The Soviet commissar.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's just more... He's turning into that caricature. He's got this perfunctory wooden way of assuring everyone that everything is fine. He denied that we were going into recession. Now he's insisting that we're coming out of it. And it just bears, as in the Soviet bloc, it just bears no relation with the world that people can see around them. And I think the really powerful point that David Cameron made, I disagree with Nick Robinson unusually. I think it would have been wrong for him to play games about the unemployment thing. It's not, you know, it might have got plaudits from the pundits, but when people are worried about losing their jobs, they don't want to see clever dick politicians showing off about that. The really good point he made was this idea of being in the bunker, that, you know, that Gordon Brown is ploughing ahead with his script, telling everyone that Britain is better off and better placed, when nobody believes it anymore.
Now, Daniel makes the point in a part political way, which is what he's here to do. There is, though, a systemic point about government here, and you must have experienced it yourself running huge departments, that quite often you press buttons in central government and you think, well, that's it, we've now got that policy in place, and actually on the ground not much is happening.
Absolutely right.
It's a central problem of politics, Andrew, and it's not widely enough understood. Many people think a speech or an article or a decision is it, that resolves it. Actually, the question of how you carry through any decision almost is a much more difficult, more complicated thing. Let's take the terrible case of the hospital in Staffordshire. The fact is that how you clean hospitals, you can't just decide we will clean hospitals. You've then got to say, well, how do we clean hospitals? Is it money? Is it how things are run? I think Gordon Brown wasn't strong enough on targets. I don't think targets had anything to do with what happened at the hospital in North Staffs. But how you drive it through, you're quite right, is a central problem.
And one minister cannot decree. I can't resist plugging the book that I've just given you, which is At Your Feet, Andrew, which tells you exactly how you fix this problem of the disconnected buttons and the loose levers.
Right, very briefly, I want to ask you, phony, I think our consensus here was phony was a mistake to use that, but not a hanging offence.
I mean, OK, put it like this. It has got to the stage, for exactly the reason that Charles gives, where politicians' speeches are regarded as belonging to a different world, a kind of white noise that you get at election times, where there is just no connection anymore between the hospital that you see, the school that you use, the police, and the promises and the glossy brochures that come out of government. And this is a system... I'm not making a party political point.
I understand
It's a systemic problem, and the answer must be to give local communities accountability.
I think the phony thing wasn't anything like as big as the panel in London thought. It was a mistake by David Cameron. He did withdraw, and then the question is to move on.
OK, so take that, London. Back to you and Anita.
London v Brussels, is it? All right, then. OK, not for the first time, probably. Now, 2012 is only just over 3 years away now, and after Team GB's gold rush in Beijing, hopes are high for success at our very own Olympics. But are we making the most of hosting the Games? Is enough being done for sport at a grassroots